I'll ask you a simple question. Why was the U.S. Bill of Rights established? Not so easy to answer though, is it? It all started when British colonists won the American Revolution in 1783, and soon a new country arose. Once the United States became a country, amendments were made, the first collection being called the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights laid the foundation of the government. According to the National Center for Constitutional Studies, the collection was formed in order to prevent the misconstruction or abuse of its powers. In today's society, Americans use the Bill of Rights, such as freedom of speech and assembly, to create movements, such as the Me Too movement. Other recent movements include gun control, as well as in the past the countercultural movement and civil rights. These movements allow Americans to freely express themselves and fight for justice.
And protest our grievances to whatever issue we have. We can use it on a daily basis as long as we are not infringing on the rights of others. You see with the Me Too movement an effect on the people who are in power in their profession, and they're getting to have some consequences. They're getting to have some results.
Being an American means using the Bill of Rights to the maximum advantage because it provides opportunities and rights to fully enjoy life without fear of the government. Furthermore, office holders are able to use the Bill of Rights to promote their campaign on social media and television.
Freedom of speech, which we can sometimes argue goes a little too far, but that argument never sustains, really gives everybody a chance to say what they think, what they feel.
Some people take advantage of these amendments and are unaware of their rights.
Innocent children are getting killed by having their mothers or their families go into their closet and finding guns not locked up, and they can kill themselves. As far as I see on the news, some child got killed that's 12, 13 years old at Deanwood Station.
Similarly to the rights expressed in the First Amendment, Americans also have rights to protect and defend themselves. This includes defending themselves from criminal accusations after being questioned. That is to say, a suspect known as to be innocent until proven guilty due to the Fifth Amendment. The Seventh Amendment gives Americans access to a jury and lawyers during the process of the case. It is beneficial because it maintains a fair case and prevents the officers from taking advantage of the suspect. Although the Bill of Rights gives Americans opportunities and freedom, it does not always prevent abuse from the government.
I think the Fourth Amendment is still very much an amendment in evolution in practice. Maybe not in theory, but we have had many cases in my lifetime that go to the whole issue of unlawful search and seizure. I think the intent of the amendment is excellent, that law enforcement authorities in general, government.
Nevertheless, the Bill of Rights protects Americans from unfair actions because of the Ninth Amendment and declares that Americans shall not be denied the Bill of Rights. Americans can fully enjoy life without fear of their government due to the Bill of Rights. To begin with, the Third Amendment states that soldiers may not enter one's home without consent. The Fourth Amendment, which is based on authorities not having access to search a person without a warrant, this affects Americans' daily lives because they do not have to worry about becoming a part of a search that they may not have any connection with, or suddenly be taken to jail without proper cause. Likewise, Americans are unable to receive cruel and unusual punishments, such as unpayable fines stated in the Eighth Amendment. This is a benefit for Americans because it prevents the government from being unreasonable when assigning punishments for criminals. The 10th Amendment gives Americans the advantage of managing some power from the government, thus giving Americans the right to control and make sure that the government does not become overpowered. Although Americans have power, most of the power goes towards the government.
By limiting government, specifying rights, and empowering the people, the founders of the United States proclaimed that the heart of America would be its citizens, not its rulers.
Sadly, as days go by, I think the government has more and more power, takes away power from us.
Well, of course, being careful of how we vote, researching things, thinking things, doing our homework, knowing all of the amendments, that would be a good start, so starting with myself, and I guess personal responsibility.
To get back to the point, Americans should not fear the government, for they have a system of power. Being an American means having rights and opportunities to express ourselves. Americans have an advantage as opposed to other countries such as North Korea because their rights don't give them any freedoms. Due to the Bill of Rights, Americans have various forms of freedom, such as freedom of religion. This includes having little fear of the government abusing the Bill of Rights because of given protections.
I realized how different the world was from where I came from, versus here. And as I grew up, going to school and to university and what have you, I considered myself an American even before I became naturalized.
It is our civic duty to use these unalienable rights to protect ourselves and not live in constant fear of the government. We should be aware of our rights as Americans and be proud of them. I'll ask you the question again. Why was the Bill of Rights established? My hope is that it is a much simpler question for you to answer.